structures in the world, and their principal function is to connect two separate points through the obstacles between them, such as the sea in the Golden Gate Bridge. The Golden Gate Bridge is located in San Francisco Bay in California, United States. The Golden Gate Bridge, as part of both United States Route 101 and California State Route 1, connects the city of San Francisco on the northern tip of the San Francisco Peninsula to Marin County. This is a suspension bridge, which means that it is suspended from cables. The cables hang from two towers that are attached to caissons that are implanted into the floor. So this gives the bridge a strong and light structure that can span long distances. In this bridge, the weight of the road is hung from two cables that pass through the two main towers and are fixed in concrete at each end. It has 1,200 kilometers of wire in the main cables. The center span was the longest among suspension bridges until 1964, when the Verrazano Narrows Bridge was erected between the boroughs of Staten Island and Brooklyn in New York City. The Golden Gate Bridge also had the world's tallest suspension towers at the time of construction and retained that record until more recently. Before the bridge was built, the only practical short route between San Francisco and what is now Marin County was by boat across a section of San Francisco Bay. Ferry service began as early as 1820, with regularly scheduled service beginning in the 1840s for purposes of transporting water to San Francisco. Many people wanted to build a bridge to connect San Francisco to Marin County. This was the largest American city, still served primarily by ferry boats. It had strong swirling tides and currents, with water 500 feet or 150 meters in depth at the center of the channel, and frequent strong winds. Although the idea of a bridge spanning the Golden Gate was not new, the proposal that eventually took place was made in 1916 San Francisco Bulletin article by former engineering student James Wilkins. San Francisco City engineer estimated the cost at $100 million, impractical for the time, and fielded the question to bridge engineers of whether it could be built for less. The one who responded was Joseph Strauss, who was an ambitious but dreamy engineer and poet who had, for his graduate thesis, designed a 55-mile or 89-kilometer long railroad bridge across the Bering Strait.
At the time, Strauss had completed some 400 drawbridges, most of which were inland, and nothing on the scale of the new project. Strauss' initial drawings were for a massive cantilever on each side of a strait, connected by a central suspension segment, which Strauss promised could be built for $17 million. A suspension bridge design was considered the most practical because of the recent advances in metallurgy. Today, the cost of construct a new Golden Gate Bridge would be approximately $1.2 billion in 2003 dollars. The total price depends on many factors, including the extent of the environmental reviews and the cost of labor and materials. The construction began on January 5 of 1933. The project cost more than $35 million, and Strauss remained head of the project, overseeing day-to-day construction and making some groundbreaking contributions. The project was finished by April 1937, $1.3 million under budget. The Golden Gate Bridge is made by main towers, suspended structures, anchorage, and approaches, which are of steel. On the other hand, it has pier, fender, main pier, pylons, cable housing, and paving made of concrete. The fabricated steel used in the construction of the Golden Gate Bridge was manufactured by Bethlehem Steel in plants in Trenton, New Jersey, and Sparrows Point, Maryland, and in plants in 3 Pennsylvania towns. The steel was loaded in sections onto rail cars, taken to Philadelphia and shipped through the Panama Canal to San Francisco. The shipment of the steel was timed to coincide with the construction of the bridge. Nowadays, the bridge traffic is very hectic. On weekday mornings, traffic flows mostly southbound into the city, so 4 of the 6 lanes run southbound. Conversely, on weekday afternoons, 4 lanes run northbound. The Eastern Walkway is for pedestrians and bicycles during the weekdays and during daylight hours only. And the Western Walkway is open to bicyclists on weekday afternoons, weekends, and holidays. The speed limit on the Golden Gate Bridge was reduced from 89 kilometers to 72 kilometers on 1st October of 1996.